All right, so you should have received an invitation to join Piazza. If you haven't received an invitation, please let me know at the end of the class, and I'll use whatever email that you prefer to participate in Piazza. This is the main way that we're going to be communicating. If you have a question, please ask it on Piazza. Do not send me an email. Right? Please use Piazza instead. If you have something that is private, send it as a private question, right? But if it's technical, if it's about the project, if it's about an assignment, please ask it as a public question, because typically, most commonly, most people, lots and lots of other folks will have your same exact question, right? There's no stupid question. Please ask away, all right? TAs and myself will try to get back to you at least within the hour. Even if we don't have the answer, we'll let you know that we're looking into it, and we'll get back to you. Right? The TAs are going to be looking at this throughout the day and getting back to you. Also, there is a search for teammates section here. Right? Please start today to try and find folks you want to work with. Right? Yes?
Are we supposed to be finding like a 9-person group or just like the 3-person?
Nine-person group, yes. Once you're confident that these are the 9 folks, I'm sure there's be some stragglers that won't have a team, and we'll try to solve that and put some folks with teams that already exist. I'll give it a week or so to make sure that you at least you have some input into who's going to be working with who. So once I know that the already folks have gravitated to a particular team, next week I'll send a form that will ask you to submit the names and the CCIS, any UIDs of the folks in a particular team, in a particular organization. All right, but first I want to give you some chance to naturally sort yourself out before we have to start moving folks around. All right, also, if you have a question about a particular sort, yes?
I just have a request about, like, for searching for teammates.
Yeah.
It's like a pretty generic form for Piazza, so I was just wondering if we could, anyone who has, like, ideas for a project that they want to work on, can you, like, pitch the idea to the group?
It's one single project. Everybody's going to work on the same project.
Same thing?
Yes, yeah. But do you have a question about the team, though?
Yeah, I just think generally for the teams we should be like, there should be a little bit of you say what you're good at and like what you can contribute to the team, so that it's not like a team full of back-end engineers,
Yeah.
but a team full of front-end engineers.
Yeah. So my hope is that within the group of 9, there would be enough folks that would be evenly spread out, and perhaps you could have hopefully 3 that are good at front end and 3 that are good at back end, and that you can share them across in team 1, 2, and 3, hopefully. I'm okay with folks borrowing from one team to the other, right? That would be okay. That does happen, but that would be part of the plan, where somebody might be maybe 70% in one team, but 30% loaned to someone else, right? Which it's common. So yeah, so this form might be a little generic. There'll be another form going out next week, which asks for team sign up. Well, you'll be asked what section you're in, the organization name, and then the team members in the team 1, team 2, and team 3. All right. This does not cover the fact that some of the teams will have 10 students, so we'll have to deal that a little later. Yes?
So you said that we might want to have, like 3 people good at front end and 3 good at back end and spread them across.
That would be ideal.
So how is work being divided between the 3 teams then? Are they all going to be full stack teams?
Ideally, yes. So team 1 will work on all aspects of the stack, right? As opposed to having 3 that are front end, only work on front end, and 3 that only work on back end. So ideally, each team will be self-sustaining.
Okay, and will they be divided up by feature or something?
Yeah, features. Yep. So say one team will work on just user management, right? So everything has to do with login and registration, profile, all the system administration of creating users, deleting users, assigning roles to a particular user, that will be handled by one team, right? The first 5 sprints. And after those 5 sprints, team 2 will now own the user management, right? And they'll have to do some knowledge transfer, which is very common, right? Folks have to explain how is it that it works, and now they own that piece, and they'll have to do some cross-pollination of going back to the original team. Hey, how does this work? That's very common, right? Where you're working on somebody else's legacy system, and you inherit somebody else's problem. Yep. Right. So I was saying, whenever you're asking something on Piazza, and you're stuck on a particular line of code, or something that is not compiling, or some test that is not running, or something in your source code is not working, okay, I would please ask you to first try and fix it yourself. Try to identify where you think the problem is, perhaps down to a particular file that you think the problem might be, or even maybe a function, right? And provide a link to your GitHub, from GitHub, saying, I think the problem is in this line, I don't know why. And you provide a link to that line of code. Right? So now TAs and myself can click on that link, right? See the source code, right? Bring down and clone down your repository, run something locally, and help you better, right? But don't just ask something very generic, and we'll have to waste time going back and forth, and trying to identify what is it you're talking about. So please provide some help us help you by giving us as much specific information as possible. Okay. So please whenever you ask something, provide at least a repository, right, so that we can quickly start helping you.